Okay guys, let's get right into it. This is a wig install. I don't want to waste some time. I'm using the bold cap method, and this is the got to be blasting spray that I'm using. So I'm applying it at the front of my bowl cap so that it will stick onto my scalp, and then it also secures my hairline. So guys, be careful when you're applying this got to be glued spray that you don't go into your hair. As you can see that I've went right through my hairline. After applying the got to be glue, you go ahead and dry the front part of the lace cap, and then you go on and cut a small circle on the sides of your ear. Make sure that you secure them properly and you don't cut too much, just a little hole on the sides of your ear. And then you go back onto your sides and the sides so that your wig cap doesn't roll up, especially if you're gonna wear it for some time, for a long time. It's best that you secure your sides. You don't have to sew it in all the way down, but you can sew it in just at the part where your ear is, so that it doesn't roll up. And you do that at the back and on the other side as well. That the sides of the bowl cap weren't laid properly, and I decided to put some blasting spray onto the sides again so that it lays properly, and behind the ear as well. Guys, just make sure that you don't put some blasting spray on your hair, especially if you're trying to protect your hairline. Now I have a receding hairline, but on this video I didn't make sure that my hairline was protected. But just make sure when you're applying it, you don't apply it directly to your hair. And then I went on and dried my hair again on the sides, obviously, so that the glue is not wet. And then when it's dry, that's when you'll cut off the bold cap on the sides. Be careful guys when you're doing this so that you don't cut yourself. Danger game nake kudala ndisika le with the bold cap. So guys, just be careful, especially if you're doing this for the first time. It is very tricky. It even gets tricky for me, but I've done this like a couple of times now. So yeah, that's when you cut off your wig cap. Make sure that you cut your wig cap slowly and use a nice and sharp scissors, because mine is not as sharp as I wanted it to be. So it was mission and a half to cut off the bowl cap. So you'll continue cutting off the cap, and make sure you cut as much as you can. And obviously there will be bits and pieces of the cap that is not glued on that will be sticking. Just go back and cut them. Also, you see those little flaps, you cut them too. Just make sure you cut them too, and they don't stick out, guys. I could have made them better. So I went back in and cut some more so that there are no flaps coming out. And then went in with the glue of makeup at the beginning of the wig cap so that the wig cap blends in well with your wig. Make sure that you use the same tone as your face, guys. This one was a bit dark because I've gone lighter throughout the lockdown. The hair that I'm using is from a vendor on Aliexpress. I'll make sure that I put it down on my description box, and it's a 18-inch frontal, a Peruvian frontal. It's quite tricky installing a wig without making mistakes, so this method actually helps me a lot, and it's good for beginners, guys. So it's beginner friendly. What you do, you mark the sides of your wig cap, and also mark it here at the front of the wig, so that you know where to place your wig when you're actually gluing it on and when you're cutting your flaps on the sides. And Then you go ahead and cut your excess lace or your flaps on the sides. Make sure you don't cut too much of your hair. There will be hair though that you'll have to cut out because you're not going to use that piece of hair. You need to customize it according to the size of your head. I suggest that you do this. You take your wig off and then you do this while your wig is off so that you don't make mistakes, especially if you're a beginner. After doing that, you'll flap your wig back, but not all the way back, just to the half of your head, like I've showed you on the video, and then you apply more glue. I applied the got to be, but I applied it in that the way that I'm applying it now so that it doesn't get messy. So I went on to the sides again so to secure my sides. See guys, I cut this lace too much. My hair shouldn't be showing on the sides. I was supposed to protect my hairline, so that's what I was talking about at the beginning of the video. Make sure that you protect your hairline and you don't cut too much so that it gets to your natural hair. Wait for your glue to be tacky, and once it's tacky, you apply it onto your scalp and lay it down. Go into the sides with the back of your comb to make sure that it's laying down properly. Continue doing that to the rest of your head, but guys, make sure that the glue is tacky and it's not wet, because if it's wet it will stick, your hair will stick onto the lace and that won't be cute. Once you are happy with that step, you go ahead and dry your lace at the front. Make sure it's laying down properly and yeah, it's nice and intact. Okay, I was a bit extra and I blow dried the rest of the hair because I felt like I should, and my hair also looked nice, so I blow dried the rest of the hair as well. See, you are saintly guys. Oh my goodness, this hairstyle is coming together just fine. After blow drying, you'll have to cut your lace off. So an easier way to do this guys is by actually sectioning out your lace into 4 flaps. Once you've sectioned them out, you cut the wig in a zigzag motion. Make sure it's in a zigzag motion guys, so that it doesn't look creepy onto your scalp, so it looks as natural as possible. So that zigzag motion makes the wig look as natural as possible, and it blends with your scalp way better than cutting it just straight down. So bear that in mind when you are using your scissors. I didn't speed up this part of the video so that you guys can see it properly. I wanted you guys to see it properly, and please take your time when doing this because it might be very tricky for you guys to do it. So just take your time and keep cutting. Doesn't matter how long you take, as long as you're doing it properly. That's all that matters. Once I was done cutting, I wasn't happy with the front. There was a bit of a white line. That white line is actually the lace. I didn't bleach my knots, so that's why it was showing. Next time I will do better and first bleach my knots before applying the wig. The next step is the most challenging step for me. It is actually laying down your baby hair, taking them out, cutting them off and laying them down. Yo, it's such a mission doing that, guys, but you'll get used to it. And you'll probably won't get it right the first time, but eventually you'll get used to it. And if you're a beginner, I suggest that you don't use the mousse that I'm using and use gel. Gel can be greasy, but it's easier to manage while trying to lay down your edges. So if you're a beginner and you want to try it out, it's best to try it out on your hair first, then trying out on a wig. And please use gel because gel is more manageable. The got to be glue gel is also fine, or else you can use any other gel or edge control that you can find. Just make sure that it doesn't leave any white residue. As you will see, guys, this is a mission and a half. I put too much product on my hair. I wasn't supposed to put too much mousse, but at the end it came out right. I was lucky enough that the glue didn't come out because that's too much mousse. But I prefer using mousse because mousse is nice and it doesn't get all crusty as the gel would. So as I said, guys, this is a very tricky step. I think I prefer doing it on someone than doing it on myself. It's easier to do it on a client than when I'm doing it on myself. Yeah, hi son, kyafiwa. But we keep moving. We don't stop. After 25 years of trying to lay my edges, I am finally done. Then I put a bit of more mousse on my head to lay all the little hair or all those flyaways that might be sticking out, and go over it with the got to be glue spray. And then for the final step, you put on a silk doek to lay your edges properly, dry them out and wait for about 20 to 30 minutes. Tie the silk doek properly so that it doesn't fall off. And then the great reveal. After doing my makeup, I took the lace doek off and that was my hair. You can see by the smile on my face that I was happy with the outcome. I brushed the hair and the edges so that they can look as natural as possible. Oh, I couldn't stop brushing the hair out, guys. It was nice and popping. I like the texture of the hair. It was not too much and it was light on my head. So guys, continue doing the right thing. Please like, share, comment and subscribe. So till next time, guys, bye.